Today we're going to look at 1 Corinthians chapter 10. And man, this is a great passage. He starts out by following up on what he said the last day. He said, I don't want to be disqualified. Now, who can get disqualified? Well, today he's going to tell us about that. Look at chapter 10, verses 1 and following. He says, Moreover, brethren, I do not want you to be unaware that our fathers were under the cloud. All passed through the sea. All were baptized into Moses in the cloud and in the sea. All ate the same spiritual food. All drank the same spiritual drink, for they drank of the spiritual rock that followed them. That rock was Christ. He says, look, all of them were under the cloud. That was the cloud that was following them through the wilderness. Okay? They all passed through the sea. This was the Red Sea. They were identified with Moses. That means baptized, means identified with. They ate the same spiritual food. They had the manna from the rock. God gave it to them. Water from the rock. Manna falling from heaven. They had these incredible blessings. So they were incredibly blessed people. You think you're blessed? These people even more. But look at verse 5. But with most of them, God was not well pleased, for their body scattered in the wilderness. He says, you know what? God wasn't pleased. Oh yeah, their bodies were scattered all around. He was telling the Corinthian people, you think you're so secure? You think you have all these blessings and God's not going to put his hand out and touch you? Oh no. Oh no. Don't be too prideful in your position. You could get touched by God too. And these people had died in Corinth. Some of them had died because of this. You and I need to understand this. Don't think that God's up in heaven aloof to what you're doing. If you're going to go off your own direction and not live for him, don't think that our bodies won't be scattered all around whatever town you live in. Now, he moves on. Look at what he says here. Now these things became our examples, to the end we lust after evil things as they also lusted. And do not become idolaters, as some of them. As it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink, and rose up to play. So he says, now look, this is an example to you. You do not need to commit the same sin that they committed to learn the same lesson. Some of us are so stupid. We think, well, I've never done that drug, so I don't know if this drug's bad. You don't have to wreck your life with alcohol to know that it wrecks people's lives. You don't got to try ecstasy to know it could mess you up. You don't have to commit adultery or look at pornography to know it's going to wreck your life. You don't have to do any of these things. You can read God's word and realize, you know what? I think I'll stay away from that. Do it, he says here. He says, you don't got to lust like they lusted. You don't got to become an idolater like they were idolaters. Look what else he says here. Nor let us commit sexual immorality as some of them did. And in one day 23,000 fell. Nor let us tempt Christ as some of them also tempted and were destroyed by serpents. He says, in one day 23,000 people died. He's referring to Exodus chapter 32 if you want to look it up. He says they were just being immoral, and they died. He moves on to the next thing. Nor let us complain, as some of them also complained and were destroyed by the destroyer. Complaining is the worst thing you can do. I'm telling you, he gets down to this whole litany of things, and the worst thing is like complaining. We complain against God. We have all these things. We got this problem, we have this problem, and this problem. And God's like, you know what? This just reminds me of Israel. Don't complain. Paul and Silas in jail, what were they complaining about? Nothing. They were praising God. And that needs to be our response too. Well, look what he says next. Therefore, let him who thinks he stands take heed lest he fall. You might think that God's not going to reach his hand out and touch you because of your sin, but you're wrong. You would be dead wrong. You think you stand? Take heed lest you fall. Look at your life. Look at these folks here in the Old Testament and how God judged them. You think that you're immune? Don't be crazy, he says. Now, you say, but I'm tempted. I got all these temptations. How do I deal with it? Here's what he says. Look at this last verse we're going to look at for the day. No temptation has overtaken you except such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you are able, but with the temptation will also make the way of escape, that you may be able to bear it. Okay, so he says, you're tempted, yes, but with every temptation, God never lets you be tempted more than you can withstand, and with that temptation, he's going to make a way out. So whatever temptations you're facing in life right now, there is a way out. Look for the escape hatch. Look in every temptation for the way that you can escape. And know that you have a choice. This isn't something that's like, oh, I was just too much. I couldn't say no. No, you got a choice. Every single time. You got to make that choice to say, no, I'm not going to do it. Well, I hope that today you'll read the rest of this chapter. We're just going to go this far today and read chapter 10 and examine your life. Ask yourself, am I in jeopardy? Am I thinking I'm standing? Take heed lest I fall. Am I singing? No, I can get away with it. You can. Well, hopefully you'll have a great day, and we'll look forward to seeing you on Monday. God bless you. Have a great day.